Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope everyone is well. Um, Going to do a quick update here. I was debating to do it today or tomorrow, but I thought today would be probably better. It's middle of the week. So I'll go over kind of what I am watching out for or what I'm kind of forecasting or preparing for, and then take it from there. Okay. Again, I mentioned kind of not too much on my watch list. Okay, I really don't have too much. I do have maybe a couple pairs that are shaping up or that may look presentable in the next 24, 48 hours. So I'll go over those. Okay, and any questions, guys, let me know below. And I think we'll get started in about 30 seconds or so. All right. Good morning, all. Good morning, Rolando. Good morning, Damien. Nice to see you guys. Yeah, just a quick update. I didn't post it earlier. I apologize. But I do see there are a few things I can talk about, so I thought I could do a quick stream, hopefully an hour or so, going over anything that I'm looking at, and then take it from there. So, and yeah, as I was saying, I'm only in one position. I'm still in pound Swiss. This is from last week. I'm still in pound Swiss. My stop loss is still at break even, and just still really monitoring this overall price. Is this going to lead to that impulse that we want to see? We don't know that yet, but I'm beginning to like the development of this correction now because I like how there is an impulse up, there is a reversal impulse, and looks like some sort of continuation correction, right? There is a consolidation here clearly. So this could be that impulse continuation correction, and we go down further, and that leads into the higher time frame impulse correction impulse as well. So I'm really happy to see what will happen in this area. Again, my stop loss is at break even, so I'm happy to just let the trade run, let the trade does its thing. We'll see what happens, in the next upcoming day or so. All right. I'm very well, thank you. Nice to see you all. So hope everyone is well, and let's get started now. Okay, let's get started. As I was saying, I don't have too much on my watch list, but I will go over a few that could shape up to something. The only thing that I'm really looking at is Aussie CAD. Okay, and I'll go over this quickly as a start. So Aussie CAD, I've been kind of briefly talking about this almost every session. I like how the overall higher time frame rising wedge. We have clearly a higher time frame impulsive phase, and we push down the price, and pretty much we start forming some sort of consolidation, some sort of deeper correction that we're seeing here. And I like how we have at least a few swing highs and a few swing low, and at least this channel is looking very parallel, right? And there is a clear head and shoulder here as well. I saw some of you guys enter here. Again, that's fine. I think that's fine if it fits your plan. This is the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then ascending channel. So entering here, I think it's not bad at all. So if that fits your plan, go ahead and do so. I personally is waiting for this correction to complete. So this breakout here, and we're sitting here, and this is a very crucial area now where I would be very careful to not just enter any kind of flag or any 5-minute things. Someone's like asking me, is this going to be an entry? No, not to me. I want to see a little bit more development, right? A little bit more movement on the price, preferably a little bit more um, consolidation. That's kind of what I want to see to complete some sort of correction that is visible at least on the 1 hour chart, and then potentially looking for the sell down to the low. Even to this low here, I think there's good enough risk reward. And the higher time frame or long term one, you can reach to the all the way down to the low if the price give us more bearish continuation. So that is the only one I'm looking at for today. That is the only one that looks shape up to something for today. So I'll be paying attention to this one. Other than that, really not much is on my main watch list. You can see I don't have too much, mostly green. I only have this Aussie CAD one that's in orange. Okay. Oil, yeah, I can update oil after, so no problem. Good day, nice to see you all. So let's get started with a couple pairs that I am looking at. Aussie CAD, I keep getting asked about update on Aussie CAD. My approach is simple, right? If the price is still in this overall consolidation, I'm not going to be interested in the buy or sell. That's just my plan because I foresee this area will just be more consolidation or more price movement. I prefer to see a completion of this correction, so I prefer breakdown from the price and lower time frame continuation to get in. So if this move is up or if this is going to start consolidating here indefinitely or for a while, I'm just not going to be interested in the buy or sell. Again, patience is very key, right? Someone asked me if this is going to be a sell setup. It's really not yes or no, right? Remember, I keep telling everyone it's not right or wrong. If you see this as a double top, and if you have an entry here, sure, right? If you're looking for a short-term entry like so, but you just have to understand we don't know if this correction is complete yet, right? We have a signs of a correction, yes, but we don't know if this potential move is enough to push the price down, especially what we have seen in the past where this bit of the consolidation, this head and shoulder pattern has not been able to push the price out, right? That is a clear sign that we likely to get bigger consolidation or bigger movement in this price, and it's not confirmed that this is even going to be a continuation down anyways. So we need to be very patient here to wait for the development, right? If this move actually pushes down and there's a big lower time frame continuation here to the low, I think that's perfectly fits my plan. And not much is going to make me to enter while the price is in this area. Okay, so I want to be very I want to point out this out because I've been getting a few messages on this. Because maybe I make a post here, I'm not really sure. But my point here is you need to wait for a little bit more confluence on your side, right? There's really not much here, what I'm seeing here, except a lower time frame double top. That's all I see. But is there bearish price action? Is there a bearish continuation after this move down? No, this looks like a correction here, but it just did not break down. This is pushing back up now. So will this go all the way back to the top again? We don't know, right? So that's why we have to wait and see how this area is going to develop. That's going to give us a little bit more clue on what we can do um, in terms of getting in the trade or maybe potentially looking for a different bias as the price continue to develop. All right. So let's move on to euro dollar now. So euro dollar, I'm personally looking at euro dollar. I'm still potentially looking at a bearish bias. Okay. Someone did point out this could be a bullish flag to continue. Sure, right? But I really wouldn't consider a trade like this. I would prefer if you're going to look for a bullish bias, is for a price to break out of this previous high and for more continuation to go. Because you can see this is the previous high and the price is somewhat stalling. This can just push up from this and then drop down right here and then continue down after. This is something that I will always be looking out for, and I would definitely get in on one of these trades because this is the previous high double top. I like the ascending channel corrective. I like the head and shoulder that it could form, and that all fits my plan to look for a sell down to the previous low. Okay, so if none of these conditions are met, then no entry for me. It's very simple, right? But if this, it all depends on what's going to happen here. Are we just going to bullishly break out, followed by continuation? Then I update this in the weekly outlook. I mentioned that the bearish outlook that I personally have may not be valid anymore if we see something like this. Okay, but if we don't see that, if all we do see is just push up from the price and then quickly drop down and then form some sort of lower time frame continuation, then this fits my plan to look for a sell like so, because I like the head and shoulder at the top of the overall price. I like the double top here. I like the ascending channel as well, and I like the overall higher time frame that this move breaks down. This move breaks down from the price. This to me could be a correction, just a pullback, and then still resume it downwards. Now I see someone show me that they can be looking at it this way, and again, nothing wrong, right? And this is what I'm trying to help everyone to understand. There's nothing wrong if you're seeing it from a bullish perspective. and there's nothing wrong for me to look at it from a bearish perspective, as long as you have a plan to execute, right? It's not about, is this buy and sell, is this the area to buy now, is this the area to sell now? I think we need to do better than that, okay? I'm trying to help everyone to get better in their trading. It's not about your entry is wrong or my entry is right. It's none of that, right? If you're looking for a buy potential, if you're looking for a buy bias, then you need to have a plan to execute a buy bias, right? For me, if I was looking for a buy bias, I would prefer price to break out here and continuation, exactly what I mentioned here on the lower time frame, right? Because this structure that some of you guys pointed out, it is valid, but what if it just kind of rejects here and push down after, right? That's a very possibility as well. So always have a plan that you can execute. Always have a management way, right? Instead of kind of just asking, oh, is this right? Is this right? Is this right? It's not right and wrong, guys. This is what I'm trying to teach everyone. It's not right and wrong, right? It's not right. It's not wrong to be looking for upside, and it's not wrong to be looking for downside. There's different confluence that you're looking for, different confirmation that you're waiting for. If your confirmations are met, then execute it accordingly. If your confirmation are not met, then don't execute it, right? It's very simple. Okay. I'm gonna go over the Forex pair really quick, and then I'll jump into the other markets really quick. Okay, so if you have any pairs you want me to look, you can type it in there. I'll go over it once I finish the market. So let's move on to pound dollar. So same approach for me is some of you guys are looking at a pound dollar like this way, and perfectly fine. So it's all about, if you're looking at a bullish perspective, if this is going to develop into a bullish continuation, I think that's okay. For me personally, I'm kind of still waiting on this lower time frame price action here. Not breaking above at this currently. This area here is very crucial. Can we get, if this is going to push up to the top here, and that's a crucial area where if this breaks above very impulsively followed by a correction, then I think the higher time frame is valid, and the higher time frame continuation and the lower time frame can take off. But if we don't get this push up above the previous high here, what we end up happening if we just corrective move up to the top here, forming another double top and then potentially an M style pattern to go down lower. Okay, so this is a very crucial area that I will be watching out for. This very likely could push up to here, but depends on how aggressively it push up. That's going to help us to understand the market a little bit more. Is this going to be a more of a bearish reversal and then a bearish continuation on the higher time frame to go lower, or are we going to get the higher time frame where some of you guys have pointed out something like this, and then if this is going to form some sort of bullish continuation? If that's the case, still I think my confirmation for that is breaking above this high here and continue higher. That's going to be a way better buy than buying it here, because here there's really not much confirmation here to be buying. But buying above the previous high and with continuation correction, I think that's a way better valid buy than buying it here. Okay, so that's my point on pound dollar. I'll be watching out for this area here, see if we're going to get either a corrective move up, which is what I prefer to see, and then I'll be looking for a bearish bias, or if we impulsively break above now, then watch out for continuation. Okay. So that's all the dollar pair that I'm looking at for the day. I'll go over dollar Swiss and dollar the dollar index really quick. So dollar index, what do I see from a mid to long-term perspective? Well, there's a few scenarios I can see this, but I do see this potentially moving down to at least the low here. We'll see what the price will do when we hit the overall bottom of this structure, because clearly there is some sort of structure here. Okay, and on the higher time frame wise, we pretty much are still looking at this low as a potential low that the price may react to. So all this move pushing down the price, can we eventually break out here and then reach the low? Possible, right? Possible to reach the low, but I think this low will be an area to really pay attention to see if we're going to get some sort of big reversal upwards, right? This is a previous low. We can certainly hit this previous low. You can break it a little bit, but this is the area that I will really pay close attention to, because we might just get a big reversal up followed by continuation, and then we're just going to resume the dollar strength, making some sort of inverse head and shoulder on the higher time frame. Very possible. But I think right now it's all we need to worry about now, or at least to take care of now, is if this is going to be a continuation down to the low. So this area that I point out on the lower time frame is very crucial. I think it's very important area to watch out for. Looks like we're forming something here. We could be even forming a descending channel, pushing the price down and then reverse up. We don't know that yet, right? So we want to see first what the price will do in this potential area, and then potentially see if we actually reach the low here and what we'll do in this area. Okay, so that's what I see on dollar index. I'll take a look at dollar Swiss really quick. So dollar Swiss, you guys are asking dollar Swiss. It's a little bit, I was originally looking at this as a potential head and shoulders. So I kind of want to see price kind of move up to here and then go down. But it looks like it's already pushing down here, and there is another correction here. To me, it's not too clear. To me, if you can look at the higher time frame here, you could argue that there is a potential head and shoulder pattern here. This move up can just be a pullback, and if there is bullish opportunity, this can go up like this, forming a head and shoulder like so, and this is the previous low. So that's gonna at a higher time frame kind of bias that I have, but I'm not seeing the bullish price action yet. Okay, this is a structure nevertheless. We could be forming some sort of descending channel like so, and then push up from the price. We don't know that yet. Again, it's kind of still correcting. Right, this correction doesn't look like it's finished. We could be dragging on a little bit longer before it decides to go upside to the high here, and I want to see what will happen in this area. So not on my watch list because I still want to see a little bit more development here of the price. Silver, I will take a look after I finish the Forex pair. Okay, I appreciate that. I just finished watching the expanding structure. It was very helpful. Great. I have a lot more of these kind of price action videos. Feel free to tune in if you feel those are helpful. So good. Let's move on to Aussie Kai. I did go over Aussie Kai in the beginning. I saw Damien as I see a daily ascending channel. Information possibly Aussie Kai that could be invalid the bearish bias, or at least minimize the opportunity. I'm not sure what daily channel. Maybe you're looking at this. Oh, sorry. Ascending channel, right? If you're looking at ascending channel, I don't know. Maybe you're looking at it this way, perhaps. So this is the crucial area to see if this is going to be a continuation, right? So this is the continuation correction that I point out on the lower time frame. So yeah, you could be right that this can be a structure on its own. So the important area now is this correction going to be enough to continue the price lower, right? So that's kind of how I see it currently. So I will be waiting to see what will happen in at least here in the lower time frame. I point out that there is a head and shoulder here, and I think some of you guys may got in on the sell here. I think that's perfectly fine. Personally, for me, I'm just waiting to see if it's going to get me a bearish continuation here. I would prefer to enter these positions better down to the low, or potentially down to the previous low, like so. So we'll see how it goes. Hi everyone, nice to see you guys all. So let's move on. I just have a few yen pairs that I'm just kind of watching out for. I'm still on the sideline for them. Okay, I'm on the sideline, meaning I'm not going to enter unless I see something that's going to confirm my bias here. Okay. I haven't gone to oil. I'll go over oil after currency. Okay. So Aussie yen here. What I want to see here is I like how the price is still correcting here. I think this is the best part about price action when I see consolidation like so. It's good because what I'm expecting for the price is if we can correctively move up to the top here and if there's strong bearish action from the top, I definitely think this can be a correction, especially a continuation correction for this sharp impulsive move. So this impulsive move needs to be corrected, right? So we're seeing the correction here. I would prefer to see more corrections of structures within structures now, and then potentially look for a bearish bias to the low. And this can lead into a bigger impulse as well. We don't know that yet. But that is something that I will be kind of watching out for. Okay, so trading is mostly just waiting on the sideline, guys. Okay, it's not about executing trades every minute or every hour, really. It's really about patience here, right? Because you have a setup, you have a strategy that you need to wait for it to be executed. And instead of kind of just rushing a trade when there's no confirmation, sit on our hands, right? Sit on our hands, wait for price to develop, wait for price to develop to exactly what you're looking for, and then pull the trigger, right? What most traders or most beginner traders don't do is they'll pull the triggers without confirmation, and they'll take a lot of bad entries or bad trades when the market isn't ready for that. And they'll take a bunch of trades lost here because the market is still consolidating. And what ends up happening is once the consolidation finishes, when the impulse happens, they lost a bunch of trades here and they can no longer enter the trade anymore, even though they see the potential sell opportunities, but they already wasted a couple trades here and they're kind of just deviate from this. And just to turn around and see that the impulse has happened without them. Okay, I bring this up because I've been coaching quite a bit of different students. They've been saying the similar things. I think the entry part, the patient part is where a lot of traders are having trouble on. And the suggestion I always said is, well, just sit on your head. If you cannot not enter, just turn off your or close your app, right? Especially even remove your app. If anything, if you're always on your phone looking at your app, then delete the app, right? If you're in the trade, you set your stop loss and take profit or whatever, then technically you don't need to look at your app every day, right? People look at your NT4 app literally every minute. I think that's a very unhealthy way to trade, especially if you're trading on a larger account, a larger amount, where every move fluctuates so much, right? So to look at that dollar amount fluctuate every second, I think that's a really poor trading method. It creates a very anxiety in your mind, okay, and it's not healthy for consistency or long-term approach. And like I said, especially on a bigger account where you're just going to be seeing a couple hundred goals, couple hundred come, couple hundred goals, it's the worst feeling that you can have, right? So. Eurocad, I can take a look. Pound yen, someone mentioned that as well. Euro Kiwi, I'll talk about that. Oil, yep. I don't have a course, my friend, but you can join my Telegram. You can join my YouTube. That's all free. So you can join my YouTube. I have a bunch of playlists, lessons, videos. It's all here. You can join my Telegram where I post all my lessons, videos, educational content, analysis, things like that. That's in my Telegram. Or you can subscribe to me on TradingView. That's where I post all my analysis. I don't have a, yeah, you can just, all these are free for you to look, okay? So Kiwi yen is pretty much the same idea as Aussie yen. This actually pushes up more now, so I want to be more like, well, what is it going to happen here? Is this going to push all the way up to the top here, or we're going to start getting consolidation here? Okay, so that's another one I'm just kind of watching out for. Okay, there's no bearish bias here, so don't start shorting here without confirmation. Preferably we start getting consolidation here on the lower time frame. And that would be nice to see a bearish move down followed by correction. I think that's fine to enter. And if it just kind of pushes all the way down to the top, I would still kind of be watching out for it. If we just kind of hit this potential double top here, price breaks above and push right back down, I think that's fine to look for an entry like this also. The only thing that will change my bias is pretty much price just completely breaks above for continuation to go, then that is going to help me change my bias of this current bearish potential that I'm looking at, and I will be looking at it from a potential long on this. Okay, So that's my plan. You see, every time when I do analysis on a pair, I already have my plan. I didn't write it out because I've been doing this for years, so I can just memorize it and things like that. But in the beginning of my journey, I will put like this, and I'll put my so and so like this right beside the chart, so I'll remember what my plan is, how I'm going to approach this, etc. So I don't deviate from the plan. Okay. So that is Kiwi yen. Someone asked about pound yen. So pound yen, I kind of went over this yesterday with my workshop video. This move right here this correction right here did not push the price out of this larger correction. So yesterday I mentioned, well, if this move is going to climb right back to the top, then kind of watch out for this area here to see what the price will do when we hit back to this high here. Is it going to form some sort of mini double top? Same thing as Kiwi and Aussie and we just went over. If this hits the top here and then drop down, then we could be looking at the structure like this. It's just a bigger version of a structure to correct this bearish move, and we could potentially see more downside. But if we just kind of impulsively break above, then we want to watch out for this previous high here to see any potential rejection. But I think based on what I'm seeing here, potential head and shoulder, potential impulse followed by a continuation correction, I will want to see price to at least react to this area and potentially looking for a sell down. Okay, so that's my forecast, that's my analysis on pound yen. So moving on, Eurocad. What does it mean by green flag, blue flag? Yeah, well, you can use these flags so if you click beside the pair, you can choose any color, right? Obviously for me, um, you can customize this whatever you want, right? You don't have to follow me for sure. Basically, it's just help you to point out pairs that you want to look at. You see how I'm just changing a different color. I personally do it like this. Like I have red as a trade that I am in. If I have orange, that means this is like a primary watch list. If it's green, it's like a secondary watch list. It needs more development. Um, Blue, I just use it for if people ask me to go over certain things, that'll be like a request or something. I use purple for something other reason because I post videos and things like that. But really, you don't have to follow this, right? You can use it however you want. But the point of me doing this so that because I do these weekly outlook, I do these market update, I'm not clicking through on every single pair. I'm only clicking through on the one that is shaping up to be something or at least has potential. So I don't need to click through every single pair. I think that's a little bit too much work. Because sometimes you have a pair that doesn't have anything, that you don't need to talk about it or you don't need to keep clicking it, right? If I go to different market, you see if I go to commodities, there's only a few that I highlighted on, right? If I go to crypto, there's only a few that's highlighted, things like that. That's kind of how I know what I'm going to talk about, what I'm going to focus on when I turn back on the chart to go through the market, to run through the market again, then it's easier for me to do so. Okay. So curious, John says, great video. I'm still learning, so curious about whether you normally use 2-hour time frame as opposed to say 1 hour or 4 hour. I would say I use the combinations of everything, not a specific one or anything like that. Like I would always go on higher time frame, so daily, weekly, etc. Anything lower time frame is to me is 4 hour, 1 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 50 minutes, etc. Um, it's not a specific time frame. That's kind of what I'm trying to explain. Is it's about multi-time frame analysis. So it really doesn't matter which time frame you click. It's relatively going to tell you the same thing. So 2 hours is not going to be too much different than 1 hour, really. So it's not a specific time frame where you can enter it. All I'm doing is I'm clicking down, so I'm seeing the price bigger and bigger as I drop it down. right? If you haven't checked out my multi-time frame analysis video, this is pretty much what it means. Is that when you go down, let's say on Aussie CAD, a position I'm looking at right now. If I start from 4 hour, I see this is a potential correction that the price is in, but this area here is a little bit unclear, right? Because it's a little bit too small. So I will go down to the 2 hour. If it's still not unclear, I go down to the 1 hour. Now we're seeing a little bit more consolidation now. I'll go down to 30 minutes or even 15 minutes to see the development of the price. That's what we use the different time frame for. Everyone trades differently. Some people like to have the 4 quadrant thing that I usually see: 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, etc. That's fine if that fits that person's plan, or maybe they have 15 minutes here, 1 hour here, 4 hour here, daily, whatever, right? People customize this whatever they want. I don't think you need to do that personally, the way how I trade at least. All we need to do is just going through the different time frame, because what 4 hour is telling you is pretty much telling you the same thing as 2 hours. It's really not much going to be different. All we're doing is we want to see the price action. We want to see the structures and patterns a little bit more closely. Then we'll go down to the fry, because within this 4 hour move, there's going to be at least some 15-minute pullbacks, right? 15-minute corrections or so, whatever, right? That's going to be impulse correction down. But on a 4 hour chart, there's only going to be just one big impulse, right? So that's the difference here. Hey, Julio, nice to see you. I'm gonna talk about crypto after, guys. So bear with me. I just have a few more pairs to go over, and I'll talk about commodities and crypto. Okay. GME and AMC, I can go over those after. Michael, if you want someone to analyze the charts with you, I have a group discussion where we all share charts. If you're interested in that, you can join my Telegram. I have a group discussion chat. I think there's about 600 of us here. If you like to share charts, you can join my group to share charts. Okay. So someone asked about Eurocad. Eurocad, I'm not as favorable compared to the other CAD pairs. Okay. I'm not really seeing much here. Okay, just personally, I'm not really seeing much developing here. I'm not sure how you guys are seeing. Maybe you're seeing it this way. It's just because this broke this previous low, and this broke this previous low, but it's like a more of a reversal to me. Right? Obviously, we can see more developing here, but kind of what I'm seeing right now, at least for me, is we broke the previous low, and we broke it, and we formed kind of a reversal correction. We impulse up, and this area here is a little bit hard to identify. Like, you can see it as this way to go further, or you can potentially see it this way. So it's a little bit unclear, right? It's not as clear as, say, for other pair, like say like Aussie CAD. At least in my eye, like this is a clear impulse. This is a clear correction. I'm looking for the next impulse. Like that to me is a little bit better bias than, say, for example, Eurocad. I'm not saying this won't go down or anything like that. I'm just saying that just strictly from a price action point of view, from a multi-time frame analysis point of view, I can argue that there can be both ways, right? So when I personally can see a bullish bias or a potential bearish bias, I try to stay out of those. I try to focus on the one that has the best, the stronger direction bias that suits my trading plan and suits the overall multi-time frame analysis. Okay. So let's go to Euro Kiwi. Someone asked about Euro Kiwi. I have the same approach as Euro Kiwi. Okay, I know some of you guys are looking at this as a sell, and again, there's nothing wrong with that, right? As long as that fits your plan to look for a sell down. I don't know if you're looking for a target here or a target here. If you can squeeze in 3 to 1, I don't know how your entry will be. I think that's fine if you're looking for a sell potentially. but I personally is still kind of looking at it like this. Okay, I still looking at it as this is an impulse correction. This is an impulse again, and this can just be a larger correction. There's sure within a larger correction, of course, there's going to be structures and patterns, right? Remember, we talk about this a lot. Um, the only way that's going to kind of invalid the way how I'm looking at this, of course, is this move just breaks down completely. Then obviously it invalidates what I'm saying here. But it hasn't do that yet, right? You can see this correction here. It's been like this for quite a bit of time already, since at least the mid through April. And I'm not seeing much here. I'm not seeing a breakdown completely. I'm just seeing more consolidation. I think this is just a more of a way for the market to trap people. I see some people are selling here, gets pulled back. I see people selling here, gets pulled back, etc. Right? This can push down here and pull back again. We don't know, right? So that's kind of why I'm just still very patiently waiting for a little bit more development. I still reasonably have a bias that this can just break low and continue higher. Okay, so watch out for this, right? If you're looking for a sell down, just remember that is it giving you enough risk reward? Does it give you 3 to 1 at least, even to this previous low? And if you have a strategy, you have a plan to execute, then follow your plan. All right. So that's Euro Kiwi. Kiwi CAD. Someone asked me about Kiwi CAD. Yeah, I do see some possibility on Kiwi CAD if we look at the overall price, right? We talk about this down move that has already happened. This move all the way from the top. I know some of you guys definitely got in from this top here. And originally I was looking at this as a potential continuation. That did not happen. This kind of just pulls back deeper now. And I'm looking at this latest bit of the price here. Looks like a head and shoulder, pretty much similar like Aussie CAD. Okay, so at least Aussie CAD has a more of a parallel channel. At least the channel is a little bit more parallel, so to speak. This is a little bit too slanted, but nevertheless, it could be a structure. Okay, I didn't draw it out because I'm kind of just waiting to see what will happen in this head and shoulder pattern. I do have a bias that the Aussie Kiwi CAD can continue lower. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing here. But for me to choose, I would probably choose Aussie CAD over Kiwi CAD. Just preference and just looking at the overall price. Kiwi CAD has just as good of a price as well. So don't get me wrong. It's just this is the filtering process, right? And to do with your risk management also. My risk management, I don't want to enter two of the same pair position, pretty much putting two position at risk. So I have to choose one, right? So for me to choose one, I'm looking for a better continuation correction. And to me, this is a slightly better continuation correction than something like this. Okay, so that's why I would choose Aussie CAD over Kiwi CAD, but I still believe Kiwi CAD has the potential to continue lower. Okay. Julio, do you like euro dollar for sure? I do like euro dollar for sure. Kind of briefly went over this in the beginning. My bias, like I said, is I'm waiting for an actual strong bearish reversal and then continuation. That is the only way I'm going to enter. I'm not going to be entering here, not going to be entering here, not going to enter if there's no confirmation, right? The confirmation for me is these couple of things. I need to see price at least push up and a sharp impulse down for the price, preferably something like a reversal impulse. And then there's continuation correction here, making this a head and shoulder pattern. And that will fit my plan perfectly. That fits my risk reward down to the low. I'm thinking you can probably even get scaling position like so. So that's my forecast and that's my plan. And if that doesn't happen, there's just no trade, right? There's nothing for you to enter. If this move just pushes up above this previous high and followed by continuation, then that pretty much void what I just said here, that my bearish bias is no longer there and the bullish bias can start happening, right? Some of you guys point out I'm this potential bullish bias. Yeah, I do agree the bullish potential flag or a continuation, but you need to have a plan to enter these. And if I was looking at this as a bullish potential or bullish bias, I would prefer for the price to break out and continue, just like what I mentioned about that lower time frame breakout here. Okay. Gold I will go over after. Okay, gold I will go over after. Pound CAD, just a quick update on Pound CAD. Pound CAD is also looking potentially bearish. Okay, we have this previous kind of a high, so a double top here with an ascending channel. So impulse, correction, impulse, right? So this is just one big impulse on the higher time frame, and this can be a continuation correction on the lower time frame. And I think I update this on the weekly outlook that there was a potential sell here. I don't know if anyone might get in, but this is a potential correction here, right? Impulse, correction, impulse, and looking to see if this correction will be completed, preferably a breakout followed by continuation, right? That is always something that I will look for, and potentially down to this previous low, which is the previous low of this double bottom here. So this is the previous low that you can potentially look out for. Again, this is a cap position. So again, I'm not gonna choose so many cap positions, right? I will focus on one cap position only. Last one, pound Swiss. I think I went over this a few times. It's just the only trade, the only live position I'm in. I'm happy to see what we'll do in this area. So I like how we have higher time frame reversal. We have a big impulse down. This can be a continuation correction. And I like how we have this impulse down followed by potentially some sort of lower time frame continuation as well. So I want to see if this can just break below here and then further continuation to the downside. Okay. So that is all the Forex pair now. So all the Forex pair I went over, good. I'm gonna touch base on few of the crypto now. Sure, I'll go over this Neo BTC since you're leaving. Okay, so to me personally, this is looking pretty bearish, at least for this current stage. There is a clear impulse to move up, right? So impulse correction, impulse up. But instead of continuation or some sort of reversal correction, this becomes a reversal impulse down. And if a reversal impulse is followed by a continuation correction, which is looking like what is going to happen now, this is looking more bearish to me to go down further. Okay, so that's just my quick way of putting out. Usually when I see these reversal impulse followed by continuation, that it's a very high probability to keep dropping. Okay, so that's kind of what I see right now, and this is the previous high as well, right? So you can see that pretty much becomes a higher time frame double top now, and higher time frame double top, an impulse to it, reversal impulse, continuation, go lower. Okay. So let's talk about commodities really quick. Some of you guys asking about oil and gold. Let's start with gold first. So gold, I personally is still kind of looking at this area to see if they were gonna get any bearish development. Okay, for me, my bias right now is a potential short-term bearish. I like how there is somewhat of a correction building up here, and this move right now that's consolidating. I'm not really seeing the bullish activity anymore. I'm more seeing it as that price is stalling here. This almost looks like a ascending channel and we're pushing down now. There's potentially another correction here. We don't know what's going to happen, of course, but overall, what I'm seeing here is that I'm not really seeing the bullish price action. Okay, I'm not even seeing this as a bullish price action because of this part here. Okay, what it's telling us here is that there's a consolidation here. This, if it develop further, maybe this can lead to a bullish price action. But for now, when this price is not complete, when it's still developing, I'm not really seeing the bullish potential at this moment. Okay, what it more looking like is a head and shoulder pattern to me. So a lot of bearish price action in my eye, at least in my bias, and strictly from a higher time frame approach now, this overall move is still looking pretty bearish, right? Although the long-term outlook, if we even zoom out further, the long-term outlook for me is that this can still be a potential continuation upwards, but I'm not really getting that on this lower time frame price action yet. If this move pushes down all the way to the bottom, then that will be interesting, because now it could almost when we hit the bottom here now, the price can start reversing upwards and completing this correction. But for now, because of this current lower time frame correction, because of this current price action that we're seeing here, that leads me to believe there is another move down to the low here. Okay, but no entry yet to me. I think there's a little bit more development needed here before that downside move. Okay, so like your relaxed approach, I appreciate that, my friend. Just trying to pass around the knowledge, and I want to make sure that everyone understands it's about removing the emotion side of things when it comes to trading. The strategy part, the technical part is really not hard. It's, it takes time and effort, of course, but it's not hard to get it. Whereas the psychological part, the emotion and mindset part, is usually where traders fail. Okay, it's usually where traders fail because of the mindset and emotion part. So I'm trying to do that, to pass around that every video as I do, because that is the demise of trading. That is the demise of traders. Why traders fail is because they can't control their emotion. Let's say they take a few losses and all sorts of emotional kicks in. They want to revenge trade and over leverage to chase back their losses, and it usually backfires more. So can we be sure if price reversal is just a liquidity grab? Are you talking about gold, or are you talking about specific anything, or just in general? Are you talking about in general though on gold, or I mean, are you talking about in general or in gold or any specific pair? In general, there's a few ways of seeing this, right? That's why we wait for confirmation. I think that's probably the best way to put it is, if you feel like a market is going up and then a reversal is just a liquidity, you gotta see it from both perspectives. Market is not just always gonna keep going up, right? Market has to go down too. It has to be in the bearish market as well, right? The market has to move down as well, like this. So moving up in the price and going down, like, is this liquidity? Definitely not, right? This is just market going down. So market is gonna go up, it's gonna go down, it's gonna go up, it's gonna go down, right? So it's just how it is. The best answer for me is I don't think too much about it. I'm just focused on strictly technical aspect. I don't really pay attention to the fundamental. Of course, I'll pay attention to major news events, but I'm not looking at the news calendar every day or something like that. I focus on the overall technical analysis, because that's going to be very clear for us when we're looking for setups, right? You just look at this silver graph here. It's actually pretty clean, right? If you notice, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction. If this coronavirus doesn't happen, this is technically a bullish continuation. So this move down due to coronavirus leads into this massive bullish impulse, right? So this leads me to believe in the end, in long-term wise, if once this correction finish, very likely we're going to get the next upside. But because this is a higher time frame, because this is a higher time frame kind of outlook, this will take months or maybe years to complete, right? So that's something on the back of my mind, understanding how the price moves. But speaking of silver on the lower time frame here, I think there is a potential lower time frame move down, short-term wise at least. You can see that from this previous sell that I took, pretty much price did not break this previous low. We kind of correct ourselves up in this ascending channel, and we correct ourselves up right back to this previous high, which has becomes a double top now. And there is a head and shoulder pattern as well. So I like these bearish confluence here, bearish price action. I prefer now to see a little bit more further bearish continuation down, and then if there's lower time frame correction, I do reasonably expect this can hit this previous low, or possibly down to the higher time frame low of this larger correction here that we're looking at. Okay, so first thing first is just to wait for price to break out, and if there is a continuation here, that fits my plan to potentially look for a sell down too low. Yeah, so believe that for sure, be angered by a few, but happy for the win. Yeah, it's just all about adjusting your mindset and emotion to the right trading mindset and stuff like that, right? Because everyone trades differently, okay? Everyone trades differently, and what I find over the years is what you may find as a trade, others may not, right? So it's best to develop your own trading plan, trading management, trading expectation, etc. Like I will be fine risking 1%, and I will be fine making 5 to 7% a month. Okay, I will be fine because that is how I've been doing it, and I have a sizable account where that's fine making 5 to 7%. Whereas people who get into the industry, they're like, well, I don't want to risk 5%. I don't want to risk 1% because I only have $100. So I'm going to risk 5 or 10% now. Okay, my expectation for someone who has $100, their expectation now is I want to make 20 to 30% now, right? So that's kind of different ways of different people trading a different method. So who's right and who's wrong? Really, no one, right? I mean, I would prefer people to understand risk management, but I realize over the years, people are still going to do this, disregard what I'm telling them here, and I can't stop that, right? It's their trading account at the end of the day. If they want to over risk, over trade, in order to try to double their account, I can't help them or I can't stop them, right? I can only continuously explain what works for me and what works for me for over the years because I've been still trading now. A lot of people who have that second method is no longer trading because they blew several accounts and they move on from trading. It's just one of those industry where people come and go super fast and they're gone after half a year because they blew several accounts because they have no idea with risk management and trading psychology. And all they see on social media is people posting profits after profits, and they expect trading to be so. And again, I can't change that, right? I can only make these streams, I can only talk about it when I'm live or when I make educational video on these topics. But I can certainly not change what the social media perception of trading is. So oil, some of you guys asked me about oil. I made a video here about oil. I was kind of looking at if this is going to be some sort of continuation to go lower. It just doesn't complete or didn't at least didn't break out of it. So I will be paying attention now is this top here, at least this top of the structure here. Is this going to at least form another correction, maybe similar like so? I would be interested to look for a reversal like that. If this breaks above that, then I don't see the bearish bias anymore. So this is the area that I will kind of make sure to keep an eye on. Same thing can happen, right? This bullish push up on the price can or maybe lead into something like this, just like this correction, and then we will see a potential fall. That's possible as well. Okay, so keep an eye on this. If this just kind of continuously bullishly push up though, followed by correction, then I'm not interested in the sell anymore. Okay. I did not go through in the indices, so I will go through the indices now. I will just go through the US ones, okay? I will go through the US one right now. So let's go over, well, I'll start off with Nasdaq first. I've gone down to 2x leverage, less emotion. Risk management is definitely important. For me now, a loss is seen as a tuition. Yeah, perfect. That's the best way to put it. So that's a very good concept that you understand now. The loss are a tuition. So think of your losses are part of trading journey that you must endure. You must take losses in order for you to learn. So a lot of people think, well, what do you mean I take losses? That's something wrong. Well, no, it's not something wrong, right? You make a mistake. It's like writing a homework. You made a mistake and someone correct your homework so that you don't make the same mistake again. It's that simple, right? So don't think losses are something wrong or you think there's something wrong with your trading because you took losses. Everybody take losses, okay? Myself included. Any professional traders, consistent traders will take losses. Whoever tells you that they don't take losses is trying to sell you something, all right? Whoever tells you that their strategy doesn't make losses is trying to sell you something, okay? Everybody take losses. It's how we endure the losses, how we risk, how we manage the losses, right? How we keep the losses at a minimum, how we keep our reward big. This is why we talk about 3-to-1 risk reward is usually a very good one to be obtaining, right? We keep our losses small, so our wins big. Even if at the end of the month, let's say I take 10 trades, I only have 3 trades win, 7 trades lost as an example. 3 times 3 is 9. So 9 minus 7 is 2. So I'm still 2% profit, right? It's just statistical wise, right? So think about it in that terms. It's taking losses is fine. It's how you adjust your losses, how you not revenge trade them, how you not over leverage them after is going to help you to be consistent in the market. So let's talk about a few indices. So Nasdaq now. So what do I see on Nasdaq here? Well, we're beginning to form a little bit more consolidation. You can see a little bit mini head and shoulder here. This is a pretty clear mini head and shoulder that we're seeing now. Okay, so head and shoulder here. And if we zoom out here where I was looking at, is that this is the previous top again. So you can see that the price isn't breaking above, right? Isn't breaking above. Are we going to see an M cell pattern? This is the previous kind of double top area. So mini double top, higher time frame double top, M cell pattern. There's almost, you can argue, another ascending channel, head and shoulder pattern here. So all these are very good bearish price action. So how I would capitalize or how I would take advantage? Well, I'm kind of just looking to see if we're going to kind of break out from this overall consolidation. Right? We want to see a strong bearish breakout to the downside followed by continuation. That's always going to be a very good sign for the market that something like this, that will be a good sign for the market that we could potentially continue lower. Right? Every time when the price is at these all-time high, um, instead of buying, I'm really not interested in the buy because the price has already moved up so much, right? You have to see it as how it is zoom out a little bit. Don't be too zoom in. Zoom out how much price has already come up or how much has already moved up. It's naturally for price that needs to have a bigger correction, right? And if you notice how these indices move, they're always going to be moving up very, very aggressively, only to see a huge sell-off on the top, right? If you notice, all these indices are going to move up like this, and then the sell-off, right? And this is why using backtesting is super important. So you shape your mind understanding, well, yeah, so we know this previous bearish impulse has happened, but looking at coming back to it, there's going to be many lower time frame possibilities, and that's kind of how you shape your head to understand the next time in a live market condition, if you see similar setups, are you able to execute it without fear or without FOMO? Okay, so that's Nasdaq. Let's talk about S&P. S&P 500, a little bit not as clear as Nasdaq. Nasdaq at least has that kind of M style pattern and head and shoulder as well. But nevertheless, we're at the top of this kind of overall structure here, right? You can see there was a ascending channel that's pushed down from it. I made a post here to be looking for a correction here. Correction did form, but there's just no breakdown from it, right? When we try to enter these correction after breakout, we would set the entry below it. So if it doesn't tag us in, then we save 1% and we move on, right? So now we're kind of just looking at this piece here. Is this going to form another mini structure here? But preferably is a break below this low here and continue downwards would be more ideal. I think Nasdaq does look a little bit better than S&P. That's all about Dow Jones. Dow Jones is also at the top here. We have that similar ascending channel, similar kind of structure. Again, no continuation downwards. But I like how we're stalling in this area. Clearly, there could be something happening. So Sim approach is the same as S&P. Is I want to see price break below this area and then continue lower. Right, this is the previous low that price failed to break lower. So preferably wait for that to happen and wait for lower time frame continuation down. I think that's going to be a lot cleaner to able to execute this. Okay, so those are the only three indices I'm looking at. I think S&P is not as good as compared to Nasdaq and Dow Jones. I think these two are a little bit better in terms of price action. Do I offer mentorship? I do. You can take a look at this link here. On this link tree here, I'll post in YouTube. You can find out more information here. I have coaching, I have mentoring. These are all specifically one-on-one with me. Okay, so it's not a group thing or whatever. It's what I focus on one-on-one and things like that. But a lot of my free information, a lot of my contents are all free anyways. You can start from there, right? You can start from my YouTube, you can start from my trading view, or you can join my Telegram for all the information as well. To get a feel of what I'm trying to teach here and what I'm trying to offer here. Not trying to offer any get rich quick schemes or anything like that. Basically trying to spread out the real knowledge and real trading expectation, and understanding consistency and sustainability is more important than trying to double an account in small time. Okay, so last one I want to kind of just wrap based on with crypto here. Some of you guys asked about crypto, so I will go over crypto quickly. I don't see too much on crypto, but I'll go through a few that could shape up to something. I think Ripple is probably the only one that I will be looking to wait for. I like how we talk about this Ripple move all the way from the bottom here. When price pushes up this massively, right, we can see that this is a massive push up to the upside. And see how much it was almost at $2 and it pretty much dropped down to like $1, right? So pretty much half it in like literally just like a few days time. But this can just be because this is a huge pullback from this impulsive move, and we can expect continuation. Since this is a continuation structure that the price is in, we're breaking all now. If this is going to be some sort of continuation, then I do expect this can be that lower time frame correction to take the price higher. So I'll be kind of waiting to see what will happen here. Looks like there is some of a consolidation here, and that fits with our overall bias of an impulse correction and impulse back to the top. So I'll be looking at this closely. Okay, I'll be paying attention to this one here. I think really this is the only one that looks at least anything resemble to a bullish price action. A lot of other ones are not really in a bullish price action. Personally, I don't like to short crypto. That's just a preference and that's just my plan. I like to only be buying crypto, at least trading crypto or buying them. I don't really want to be selling them. That's just me. So I do see a potential bullish buy here if this correction finish, and then we can see upside move further. Other than that, I'm just gonna quickly browse through all the market here, or at least the one that I was looking at before. Luna, yeah, I want to point out this. Luna can be something. Okay, it looks like this is a clear impulse. This is a clear correction. I think I had it flagged. I don't know why I didn't have it, but this breaks out here. If it's formed by continuation, I think this is also a valid entry, a valid kind of potential buy to the top here, or even higher. So this one is also looking pretty clean. But other than these ones, right? Other than these ones you see for Litecoin, for any other kind of crypto, I'm not really seeing the bullish buy, at least for now, right? This can obviously develop into something further, and then we continue upwards. Further, certainly possible, but for now, I'm not really seeing much on any of them. Okay, so all because of, I think it was Sunday when when crypto market had this kind of a drop, right? I think a lot of them suffered from it. See from Bitcoin as well. So we'll see how the market recover, if it's going to, or we might even get into a more bearish market as well. Okay. I do want to go over Binance Coin and Cardano. Binance Coin is something that I will kind of still be on the sideline for. I like how this is slowly beginning to forming kind of like a pendant correction now, right? This is clearly an impulsive phrase. This looks like a higher time frame correction. So my approach is the same usually. This move either going to move down once more before upside continuation, or we're just going to start seeing the breakout now and still same idea followed by continuation. We don't know if this correction is complete yet. That's why we best to wait for the breakout, wait for the confirmation correction. That's going to confirm that this correction is all we need to correct this move here, and we're likely to see upside afterwards. Last one I want to go over is Cardano. So Cardano is shaping up to be somewhat of a bigger correction. I think I pointed out this a couple of weeks ago that if this move right here doesn't push up higher, then expect a bigger consolidation, which is kind of what we get from the market. This is good because as long as we know that the bigger and longer this correction goes, the stronger that we can lead into the next impulse. You can see this is an impulsive move to the upside, and we're waiting to see if this correction can finish and we can expect further upside from the price. But remember, correction can go on indefinitely, right? This can just push up here and go down again. We can just be consolidated here for next little bit while. We don't know, right? So best to wait for a confirmation, best to wait for that complete breakout from the price and correction. That's going to be ideal. Now, if you notice, most of my entries, especially this one I took on Cardano back in February or something, I waited for price to break out on this correction. This was the previous high the price broke, and correction after breakout. One of my entry I always talk about, clean entry to the top, and I was setting the the target of $1 here. And after that, yeah, price did continue higher, but it drops down again. So I'm very happy with the exit here, and price began this big consolidation. So I'm happy to not to hold a position through this. Remember, I talk about this a few times, and it's the basic understanding of price action is, or price action analysis and entry is that we want to be entering when the price is in the impulsive phase. We don't want to enter when price is in the consolidation phase, which is what it is right now. Right? We want to enter when the correction is finished so that the impulse happens. So we're going to get a period of fast momentum. Our entry, whether it's a buy or sell, is going to maximize, it's going to have a better probability. Whereas if you enter a correction, if you enter in the big higher time frame consolidation, price is just going to move up and down like this for indefinitely, and you're going to see profit come, profit go, profit come, profit go. It's not as healthy, right? It creates emotional distress, especially for new traders. So always remember, you want to be in the impulsive phase. You don't want to be in the consolidation phase. Okay. I'll go over a few that you guys are asking. So Bitcoin, I'm not overly bullish or bearish on Bitcoin. I'm kind of seeing what this will do. Some people think this is a dip. Sure. I'm just kind of looking at this overall structure, and I mentioned this in my yesterday's weekly outlook. Is that I mean not weekly, my workshop is that we can potentially expand the structure like this. Okay, so that if this move is followed by some sort of bullish price action like so, we can certainly move up to the top here and then still drop down after. We don't know if this is going to be a larger ascending channel or this breakdown from the price here. We might be forming a consolidation like so, and we can still go down after. Okay, so that's kind of what I see. I'm not really interested in the buy here. I'm not saying the buy won't work out. Remember, this is not, it's not right or wrong, right? If you're looking for a buy here, I don't think there's something wrong if that fits your plan. This could be an inverse head and shoulder. If there is a buy to this previous high, if you like these short-term trades, or at least potential less risk reward because we don't know if price will just kind of reverse from here downwards, then execute it, right? If that fits your plan. But I personally is not looking for something like this. I would prefer at least I see a little bit more development of this overall price. If we can continue upwards later, then that's going to be better. I don't think buying here fits my plan personally. Okay. Doge. Not interested in Doge, to be honest. I don't really like this overall price. I don't want to even say the word pump and down, but I think this is exactly it, right? So people who buy here, here, here gets destroyed when they go down. Who do we know that if this continue going to the top here and then same thing can happen again? We don't know that, right? So if you're gonna be buying here because of social media, because of things you hear and see, you just need to be careful because it's going to be volatile, right? If you're buying here without any technical analysis because you're just buying due to what social medias are telling us, then you need to be careful because what is your stop loss? What is your technical analysis behind this? I personally is not seeing too much here. All I'm seeing here is a move to the upside. Was looking like it's going to form continuation and go higher, and then just this massive drop to the downside. You just have to imagine how many people are buying here and how it crashes and just pretty much either blow their accounts or put their account in a severity, right? And after blowing account, people will be start buying here or maybe buying here when it reached a high and then still drop down. This is not really any technical perspective from at least from how I see it. Okay. The only way that I will see a more bullish, at least for me, is if this correction completes breakout and followed by continuation. Then we have at least some sort of technical analysis, some sort of price action, some sort of correction that it looks more like what we're experiencing. But if that doesn't happen, I'm really not interested in buying something like this. Okay. Uh, yeah, I'll go over Ave. Maybe Abe is ready. Well, I like how we're in the higher time frame kind of consolidation. This is clearly a correction in the making. Is it ready? I don't think it's ready. I want to see price break this high first and then continuation. That's going to be a little bit better to me. But just understand also that the top is here, right? So you want to be careful if it's you enter something like this, do you have enough risk reward? Of course, if it's continue upwards, then yes, but you just still have to understand how the nature of the price move. This could potentially be a double top, right? So you have to be careful if you enter a position like this and it hits the top, are you able to make it break even, etc., or even tiny profit? Because we can just reverse back down. We don't know if that's going to happen, but that is a potential possibility. Okay, so you just have to be careful on this one. Litecoin went over this, I think, or not. I can't remember. Litecoin, I'm not seeing too much here. Okay, I'm not seeing the bullish price action yet. Okay, I'm not saying it won't lead to it, but I would prefer this if this is some sort of correction here. Right, this breaks out now. Preferably to see a bigger correction here in the making before the upside. Right, this small one probably not enough in my opinion, judging by how big this previous correction was. So we can just be seeing a bigger correction like this, preferably, and inverse head and shoulder, and then potentially to the top afterwards. But again, I'm saying this now because I'm not seeing that strong of a bullish bias yet. Right after I see an impulse, reversal impulse, continuation correction, drop down. This could be ahead of that head and shoulder or it can be a reversal. We're not sure yet. Right? This can lead into something else further as well. We don't know yet, right? So we need to wait for a little bit more development on the price before we enter something like this. Okay. Okay. Let's go over a few stocks. I think some of you guys are asking a few stocks. Thoughts on Tesla? I do think Tesla has very potential to go upside. I think this is clearly bullish potential from the price now. Originally, if I can see my original posts, yeah, I was looking at this Tesla here. I do think the overall bias is there, right? This is a correction here, so we made an inverse head and shoulder. We pushed the upside down. This can be another correction. So I do agree this can be a further continuation, which is going to go further up now to the top here. So that is how I see on Tesla. I definitely see the bullish bias here in Tesla here. Okay. And someone asked me about GameStop and AMC. I remember just scrolling up right now. GameStop and AMC. What do I think about GameStop? Well, looks like we're pushing up, which is good. No, this can be some sort of continuation. We have this impulse down, but reversal impulse, continuation, correction. This is breaking above now. So can we see more bullish opportunity? Certainly possible, right? I had the structure drew like this previously, and this could be a kind of a breakout from that as well. But the bullish activity or the bullish momentum does look clean. Okay, so I do reasonably see this can continue higher as well. AMC, yeah, I do also see this kind of this correction here as well. I like how this is somewhat of the channel or like a descending channel, so to speak, and price is slowly breaking up now. So further bearish continuation on the lower time frame. I do expect this to continue higher. So I went over most of these ones already. I'm just gonna go over the one I haven't gone through. So if you miss it, you can rewatch the stream. They will have everything that you're asking of that I already went over. Euro pound, I do have a bullish bias on it personally. It's very similar like pound Swiss, but pound Swiss has just a little bit better price action in my eye. Euro pound is also pretty much inverse correlated, right? So if we zoom on here, I like how we have this kind of a descending channel, so to speak, moving the price down. We have a first impulse up, and it looks like we're just getting a little bit more development here. We first had this kind of ascending channel. We pushed the price down, and then it wasn't continuation after. Instead, we had a reversal impulse up. So it's forming a continuation here, nevertheless. This can just continue up further. The outside ones is this can move down once more to the bottom here, and making a correction like this, and then we still go up after. That's a possibility as well. But for now, it looks like we're just forming an impulse followed by a correction, and this can potentially go higher. Okay, so that's me personally, what I see on Euro Pound. Kiwi Swiss, not interested in Kiwi Swiss because I'm not seeing too much here. This obviously is a bullish impulse, and this could be a bullish continuation, right? But it's the same approach like Euro Kiwi, where I'm still seeing this area here. This has to break out first, followed by continuation to make me believe that this bullish move and this bullish continuation is invalid. I think it's the same as Kiwi Swiss. Like this can be a correction like so. Right, so we impulse correction. This can just push us up here, trapping a lot of people and just straight go down after. We don't know that yet, right? So that's why I'm waiting to see what will happen in this area. If this can break above past previous high and followed by continuation, then what I just mentioned about this potential setup may be invalid now to go downside. Again, just have to wait for a little bit more development from price here. Euro dollar I went over several times, so you might have to rewatch the stream. Aussie Swiss is going to be similar to Kiwi Swiss that I went over. It's kind of the same as Euro Aussie, right? I didn't go over Euro Aussie, but Euro Aussie kind of still in this consolidation here alone. Aussie Swiss looks like we're in this consolidation still. I personally don't want to say that it's an upside right away. Okay, this is similar price action like Euro Kiwi Swiss as well. Right, so we impulse correction, impulse. This is potentially a larger correction. We don't know that yet. Okay, preferably is for price to break above this previous high, same as Kiwi Swiss, before we consider anything. Okay. That's a good question. Let me go over that. When do you consider an extension of a correction or a breakout of something like GameStop? Um, Originally, this I did update this chart, so let me update fully here. Originally, I was looking at like this, right? This is the previous correction. As the price continued to develop, I want to say that this is more likely to be a correction now rather than the previous one I drew, which is more slanted. This is kind of what I'm looking at now. So if this is going to be a correction, we break out of this potential kind of a panic kind of correction, then that will be what I will be waiting for, is a continuation to prove that this correction is over. Okay. Um, I originally had it drawn like this. I didn't think I updated it. Maybe that's why I created a little bit of confusion. I apologize. As the price continues to develop, I'm just trying to connect the most recent swing high and low. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. But it's still a correction nevertheless. This is still an impulsive move. This can be a correction. And we're breaking out now. This can be another lower time frame correction if it develops. And I want to see the potential upside. Okay. US 2000. I don't think I did that. Okay. ETH. Let me finish up this one. ETH. Looks like we're breaking high, but every time when we break the previous high, price just drops down, right? So be careful here because this can be something here as well, right? This can be in a larger ascending channel, or at the top of this ascending channel, potentially move down as well, right? So I'm not too interested in me buying here, especially when we just break it like that. You can see all these previous time. When price break the previous high, this drops down. When price broke this previous high, if I recall, like when we price break this previous high form ascending channel, we still drop down. So I'm a little bit hesitant on this, and I'm kind of looking at it more like this can be a correction on its own. Okay. Preferably is, again, we need to see a strong bullish breakout followed by continuation that voids what I'm seeing here right now. Right, we've seen this kind of ascending channel before. It's exactly kind of in this area, right? So imagine you just replay back to originally before it happens. This move continued to go up, continue to go up, continue to go up, continue to go up, and then now it completes the ascending channel, and then we have that kind of massive bearish move to the downside. Okay, I'm not saying it will happen now, but just have to be careful because the price is developing into something like that on the current price action. So you want to be a little bit careful on this area here. Okay, so last two, I want to wrap it up here, guys. So indices, someone asked about US 2000, and I'll go over Nikkei 225. So I'm not seeing too much here compared to the other US indices, to be honest. I think the US indices in Nasdaq and Dow Jones, they look a little bit nicer, at least a little bit more stalling. Here, I'm trying to point out something here, but it's not really what I'm seeing, at least. Looks like could be something here. I want to say there's a potential head and shoulder, but this area doesn't even add up to that. So I am very not into this one. Okay, I don't see too much in terms of structures here. Okay, this looks like more as a bullish continuation, but we're close to the top here, and most of these indices are going to move relatively the same anyways. So I will choose the other ones than this one. That's kind of how I'm trying to say is it's the same as when we're choosing currency pairs. Is we're not going to trade all the same, especially all these ones. Let's say Nasdaq, S&P 500, Dow Jones, US 2000, Russell. They're all US indices, right? They're gonna tend to move together. If we're gonna have a market bearish move, we're likely to get them from most of them anyways. Okay, so it's about filtering the best one. And earlier I went over, I think Dow Jones and Nasdaq looks slightly better than all. Nikkei 225, looks like we're having a bold kind of a correction here. Right? At least this is kind of what I'm seeing here. There is a few corrections that continue to move the price up. Like this is clearly moving up in this fashion. So kind of waiting to see what will happen here. This move down from the price is kind of followed by a reversal impulse. We don't know if this is going to be a head and shoulder. Looks like there is a small head and shoulder, or will this lead into a bigger kind of bullish flag and then continue upside? Again, I'm not too, I want to say, I'm not too into this kind of things because this can look like it's a bullish continuation. And I mentioned about this bullish kind of lower time frame buy, that's potential. But this is also looking like we have a top here and we impulse down. This is a head and shoulder pattern. This could even go lower, followed by a continuation. Okay, so best to wait a little bit longer. Just as I always say, I think there's reasonable to go up and down at this current stage. But my confirmation is if I'm going to be looking for a buy, I'm not buying here. I will be waiting for price to break out and then continue up here. This is a better buy. And if you're looking for a sell potential, preferably is breaking below all this low, right? So this head and shoulder here has to go down, followed by continuation to go lower. So it's kind of what I always say when I see biases in both direction. I tend to be on the sideline. I want to wait for a little bit more development that will be suitable for my bias to execute. Okay. You need to turn to HD VIC FX7. See if you can turn your setting into quality auto 1080p HD because I'm recording this in a HD format. But if you can't see a refresh, if it's not helping, after this stream is over, after this video is uploaded, it will be HD to watch. Okay. So I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. I think I went over everything that you guys are asking, and good stream so far. Kind of in a rush. I kind of just posted like 10 minutes before the start. I apologize on that. But that is for market update for this week, for the remaining of this week, and for the remaining of April. By the way, guys, this is the last week of April. So we only have 2-3 days left now. I think it was an overall very good month for me personally. If I look at my journal, I think I did pretty well. I can't remember how many trades I took, but I want to count it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 13 to 15 trades roughly for this month. Overall, very pleased. I think there's a few good positions. I think Binance Coin was the biggest one, 9.5%. But everything else is exactly how I will manage it accordingly. And only a few break even, a few loss. So April, second quarter of the year, I think it was a very good start. Looking forward to the next 2 months, really. I like how some of these markets that could shape up to something that I prefer to see. And I think Aussie CAD is one of them. Aussie CAD could be shaping up very soon. So this is something that I will be looking for. And like I said, I will be only choosing one of the CAD pairs instead of choosing all of them. Okay. So very happy to have all you guys join me. Anyone new, like I said, if you like these streams, if you like these content, feel free to add my YouTube, TradingView, and Telegram. I provide as much free information as I can, and hope to pass on the knowledge to everyone as well. Close to the end of the month, usually I will. I'll always make the weekly trading recap of this week. I will also make the. I'll make sure I upload my journal to everyone. I always have a journal, by the way, guys. I always write my journal. I always update it. I mean, not update. I always post it in my Telegram. I'll post it on this link tree for you guys to look. That's for me to share my knowledge, my experiences, and to be honest and transparency, right? I want to be honest and transparent in everything I do, because I always say is a trader can lie to everyone about his or her ability, but they cannot lie to themselves. Okay, so a lot of people out there faking things or pretending to be things, you will never know, but they can never lie to themselves. So if those people want to get better at trading, stop pretending to be someone otherwise. I think that's the best way to put it. Okay, that's why I do these as well. It not only helps everyone who are learning, it also helps myself to be a better trader, to present these material, uh, to continue provide these journal, to continue provide analysis, videos and lessons, because that also helped me to shape to be even better trader, right? Because this is my 8th year in trading and I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still advancing, right? This is the right approach in life and in trading, right? You want to be humble, you want to be hungry for more knowledge, hungry for more information. Don't be a trading snob thinking you know it all and then that you're the best. You don't need to learn any other things. No, right? Because in life, we're always continuously learning more things as well. And trading is the same because the market continues to evolve, the market continues to move. And if you stay behind, the majority, then you're gonna fall behind, and eventually you're gonna be not as proficient as what you're doing. Okay, so I hope that helps some of you guys. And like I said, journal I'll upload at the end of the month. I will upload a weekly trade recap video if I took anything additional trades, and I'll update all the feedback, testimonial for the month. I usually do that at the end of the month. So, all right, everyone. So, yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for this special edition. Thank you, Trusting Harry. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, so hope to see you guys all next time. Hope to see you guys all next time in my next month weekly outlook. So the next month will be May 2nd. So May 2nd will be my weekly outlook, and that'll be the beginning of that month. That will be that. Thank you very much. Let's do it. I appreciate that. Thank you for the coin. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Last question I want to answer here on YouTube. I'm currently 16. I got into trading 5 months ago. What would you recommend me? I would recommend you to understand trading is about sustainability and long-term approach. It's not about get rich quick, unless because social media tells you otherwise. But if you want to be sustainable, if you want to be trading for a long term, work on your mindset and emotion, work on your trading psychology, and most importantly, work on your risk management. You're not here to get rich quick. You're not here to double your small account because that's not likely to happen without over risking, over leverage, and revenge trading. So think about, do you want to be trading for the next 30 years or you want to try to double the account and then blow the account up and kind of quit trading after half a year? Okay, so that's my honest advice. All right, everyone. So appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'm gonna wrap this up now. Okay. So any other questions? You're welcome to ask me in Telegram or anything like that. And I shall chat with you guys all next week. All right, in May. All right. Thank you very much. So be safe out there. Be healthy wherever you guys are. And see you guys all next time. All right. Thank you very much.